I think it's like the biggest opportunity that I have to form better relationships.
Yeah. Change in number of posts for automation-prone jobs compared to manual-intensive jobs.
So this is a graph that shows the drop in job postings online for jobs around automation.
The knowledge work is going to get hammered by AI. I met a guy in Japan who he's one of the very few guys left, like 100 of them left, 150 of them left, who make samurai swords in the traditional samurai sword way you make them. You hammer them metal, and he folds his own metal, and he makes samurai swords. They made them the way they made them 200 years ago. And we went to his little workshop, and he's this little old guy, and he's telling us the story. Like, how did you do this? He's like, well, I had a desk job. I worked in a company, and I woke up one day. I was like, I can't do this. Like, this can't be my life. And I've always been enamored by sword making, so I found an apprenticeship and tried to learn. And I'm just starting to get the hang of it, but I have a lot of room for improvement. And we're like, how long have you been doing this? He said 30 years.
30 years.
But that's so Japanese. The Japanese, like, they'll never be good at this. I'll just keep working at it. And like, it's such hard work. But I think there's something to be said for, I think a lot of us, like, think about how many white knowledge workers, like, you ask them what their hobbies are. And like, maybe there is an opportunity to learn a skill. I mean, look at lockdown. When we all went through lockdown, I mean, what skill did you practice during lockdown? What did you learn?
DJing, running, cycling.
DJing.
Yeah.
Right? I did kintsugi.
What's that?
It's the Japanese art of fixing broken things with gold. So basically, you take a broken plate or a broken cup, and you put it together, and with gold paint or gold epoxy, you put it together, and you make it. The whole concept is you can make something more beautiful. Like, things can get more beautiful after they're broken, right? I love the philosophy of it. I spent hours doing frickin' kintsugi. Ask me how much kintsugi I've done since we came out of lockdown. How much DJing have you done?
0.
And so maybe all this free time that we're supposed to get, which I still don't think will happen, maybe it's not such a bad thing. Think about the joy you had DJing. I had so much fun doing kintsugi. I had so much fun. I would spend hours just my head down, focused. I was so relaxed, not thinking about work. So why? That's the other question. We're talking about how we're all going to have all the spare time. We've lost all of our spare time. We have no spare time because all we do is work and think about work and talk about work. Like, if we go back 40 years, 50 years, there was plenty of spare time. And people went bowling, and they went to the movies, and they went over to each other's houses for dinner, and they cooked. Isn't it a good thing that we're getting time back? A lot of us got a lot of good things out of lockdown, and that's extreme. So, like, maybe it's okay that we get some time back, because it sounds like we've lost all of our own time.
It'd fix the loneliness. You'd have space for relationships.
You'd have space for relationships. You'd have space to try things. And we couldn't bury ourselves in work and escape from our lives that we hate by just burying ourselves in work. Like, maybe AI doing some of the work for us is the thing we've been desperate for the past 30 years. Just saying.
This is quite embarrassing for me to admit, but if you know me well, there's something that you know about me, which is a function of my personality, and that is that I lose everything. I've lost my wallet, I've lost multiple passports. I now actually have 2 passports because there's a high probability of me losing one. And when you lose your wallet overseas, as I have many times, it's a particular inconvenience because you also lose your driving license and your credit cards and those kinds of things. And that's why I'm so happy that our show sponsor, Exeter, have invented this thing I have in my hand. They have partnered with Apple's Find My technology. So all I have to do is open their app and play a noise, and it will tell me where my wallet is. Exeter wallets are slim, they're made of recycled aluminium, and they block various types of digital theft. And with one click, your cards can pop up and are ready to go. So if this sounds like the kind of thing you or a friend needs, visit exeter.com. You can use code Stephen and you'll get 10% off plus free shipping and a 100-day trial. That's exeter.com and use code Stephen at checkout. For anybody that likes matcha, for anybody that likes lattes, one of my companies has just launched canned matcha lattes. And I was speaking with the founder, Marissa, and she said that creating this product has been no easy feat. They tried launching in 2021, but as is often the case in business, the development process turned out to be extremely complex. So they've spent the last 4 years testing and refining every single detail to create this, which is a Perfect Ted matcha vanilla latte and a Perfect Ted matcha strawberry latte. So what we have here in these cans is barista quality matcha straight from the can, and it tastes like it's just been made from your favorite cafe, naturally sweet and naturally creamy in a can. And the reason why I've invested in this company and I drink matcha is because matcha as an energy source gives me lasting energy without the big crashes that I get from other products. Grab their ready to drink canned matcha lattes at Waitrose, Tesco's and Holland & Barrett and perfectted.com, where you can use code Stephen40 for 40% off your first order. What are you struggling with in this season of life? I think I've asked you this in every conversation we've had, and the answer's evolved conversation to conversation.
Yeah.
We'll both go.
I'm doing so much right now. By the way, absolute joy. And I wish I had more time in a day. And not in the sense that I'm deprioritizing my friends. You know, you talked about how you would give them all your money to secure them, but you don't give them any time. I actually treat I've actually gotten very good at this. It's probably when you write a book about friendship, you sort of like take yourself on a little bit, where I will schedule friends like meetings in the middle of the day. Haven't seen a friend for a while. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, tea with, and I go and I leave the office like I'm going to a meeting. Because nobody says, hey, Simon, where are you going? I'm going to a meeting. Where are you having the meeting? At that restaurant. People are like, have fun. Nobody will give me any kind of grief if I'm leaving to go to a meeting. Now I go and see a friend. And when somebody says, can I cancel this French tea with friend because you have a phone call you have to have? I'm like, no. Just like you wouldn't cancel on my meeting. Don't cancel on. So I put it in and I give them equal weighting to things that have to do at work, because I've become much more discerning. Like, do I have to have this meeting or this phone call today? Or can I do it next week? I could do it next week. And you realize we add fake urgency to things. And I have a friend who's kind of amazing. He's way busier than me. And he says, I don't want to spend time with anybody. Like I saw it was really funny. He came out of a meeting and he had a meeting with a very fancy person who's courting him for business, right? Or he should be courting the other guy, actually. Very fancy person. And he comes out of the meeting. I'm like, how was it? It's like total waste of time. I'm like, you don't want to do business. He doesn't want to work with you. I was like, no, he wants to work with me. He wants to work with me badly. Total waste of time. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, he's just some rich asshole. Like, I learned nothing. I didn't enjoy it. And I don't want to work with him. And I was like, tell me more. He's like, I only want to work with people who, when I spend time with them, they teach me something, I laugh, or I feel inspired when I walk away. And if somebody sucks my energy, I do not want to work with them. And I was like, that's amazing to have that level of confidence that you would turn down money in your business. And now what if we applied that to as much as possible in our lives? Like, what if we stopped hanging out with friends who just sucked our energy? Are they really friends? Rather than spend more time with people who we enjoy. What if we take meetings from people we're excited to take a meeting with, not that we just see dollar signs and opportunity? And what if we only partner with companies where we really like the people who work at those companies? You don't have to have a relationship with the CEO, but they've got a good culture. I really like working with them. And we make a little less money with them versus that other company. But I really like them because when things go wrong, I want to call that person. And people ask me this all the time. They say, how do I choose a publisher? And I've seen this mistake 1,000 times. I've seen people like former CEOs who are like, I now am going to write my book. I'm like, great, you've got a lot to say. And they've got multiple offers and there's a bidding war. And they always ask me, which one should I go with? Which publisher should I go with? And I always say the same thing. Choose the one you're going to fight with best. Choose the publisher you're going to fight with best. They're like, what? I'm like, the goal is to make a good book. There's going to be creative tension. There's going to be fights. Choose the publisher who believes in your idea, believes in you, wants to make a great book, who you're going to fight with really well. Every single one of them ignores me. Every single one of me takes the biggest bid, and every single one of them has written a shitty book that didn't sell.
Isn't that just relationship advice as well, though?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Choose the person you're going to fight with best. And the number of times that we forget about the quality of the product and we just want it's the same for job interviews. You know, this is especially true for young people. Like when you're interviewing in a relatively junior job, entry level or slightly above, don't worry about how much they're going to pay you. Like just as long as they pay you a livable wage, you know, choose the job based on who you're going to work for. Choose the person. I used to, early on in my career, people, you know, HR people who say, what are you looking for? I'd always say the same thing. I said, the thing that I'm looking for is probably like looking for love, but I'm looking for a mentor. And every time I'd evaluate a job, I didn't care how glamorous the brand was. I didn't care how much money they were going to pay me. And by the way, it's not like I had money. I knew they were going to pay me something. I knew I could pay my bills. It's not like I'm not a trust fund baby. Like I needed an income. But one company offered me, you know, $5,000 more, and one company offered me $5,000 less. But I really liked the person over here. I took that job, and it was if I got one thing right as a young person, it's that I always chose jobs based on who I would work for, not how much they were going to pay me or what account or what brand I was going to work on. And that's the one thing I got right. Because yes, I made less money than all my friends in the short term, but I got an education and a care and a love from somebody who took me under their wing. I learned leadership from Dennis Glennon. I learned leadership from Peter Intomaggio. I learned leadership from Pamela Moffat. I learned leadership from these leaders who took a weird liking to me and took me under their wing. And they were exceptionally good leaders themselves. And I got that education. And all of them in the early days paid me less than I could have got somewhere else. And it's the same. Choose the people.
In my book that I wrote, the first chapter in it talks about this idea of these 5 buckets. And I'm trying to give young kids advice on how to prioritize their career, and it sounds somewhat similar to you. So I'm going to throw this concept at you and see how it lands with you. So the idea was that we all have these 5 buckets when we're starting our career. And the first bucket is your knowledge. The second bucket is your skills. Now, these are the only buckets that no professional earthquake in your career can unfill.
Right.
You can be fired, you can be cancelled, whatever. You still have your knowledge and skills. But the other 3 buckets I'm about to name, they can fluctuate. Bucket number 3 is your network, can fluctuate. Bucket number 4 is your resources, can fluctuate. And bucket number 5 is your reputation, can fluctuate. And the idea is that focusing on those first 2 buckets when you're young, choosing jobs based on how much they're going to fill those 2 buckets and also what they're going to fill them with and how relevant that information is. And when knowledge is applied, it becomes a skill. So you focus on filling your knowledge, you apply that knowledge into skills, and that really is the essence of career longevity. And as I noticed over time with people that I hired and then watched them throughout their careers and what they did, it seems to me that life over the long term typically brings you back down or up to the level of your knowledge and skills. I.e., I had this one kid step down from my company because he got a job offer at 21 to go be a CEO in America. And as he departs, I'm thinking, he has not got the knowledge and skills to be a CEO. Within 24 months, the company had gone bust. He was back down to doing the same job he did for me. And I thought, life just like resets you to the level of your knowledge and skills over time. So what do you think of this? Are these
I think we're saying the exact same thing. You did it more eloquently than me. You know, I think it's 100% right. And the people who will fill that bucket with knowledge and skills are the people who, again, for some reason, they're good people, they're good leaders, they take a liking to you, and they will put you in situations and they will let you screw up and fix your own problems, fix your own mistakes. Then that's what my bosses did for me. They rewarded my behavior when I got it right, as opposed to my results. Never got rewarded for my results. I always got rewarded for my behavior. So if I showed initiative, I got a reward even if the results didn't follow, right? And I can tell you a great story on that. And if I got things wrong, they would say, wow, what are you going to do? Really screwed that one up, didn't you? Okay, what are you going to do? And they weren't happy with me, but they let me fix my own messes and they stood by and I knew that they were there if I needed them. You know, Peter Intomaggio, one of the best leaders I ever worked for, annoyingly, he never answered a single question I asked. Hey, Peter, what should I do? I don't know. What do you think we should do? Well, I think we should do this. I'm like, okay, so go do that. You know, what do you think? Peter, I'm asking you because I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. He's like, ooh, well, should probably go think about that. And it was the worst. But what he taught me was self-reliance. What he taught me was self-reliance. What he taught me was, if I don't know, then I have to go keep searching and keep talking to people. I have to have a point of view. And it may not be right. And I'll find that out myself too. And I also learned to have backup plans from him because something went haywire on me. And it went so wrong, it ended up being okay, but he made me sweat it. And remember, at the end of the day, at the end of this whole thing that went wrong, that was totally my fault. The phone rings, I see it was 6 p.m. The phone rings, I see his name come up on the caller ID, and I pick up the phone. I remember the whole call word for word, right? I pick up the phone, I go, hello? He says, close call today. I said, yep. He said, better to get shaved by the bullet than hit by the bullet. I went, yep. He said, have a good night. I said, you too. That was the whole phone call. And so since then, since that experience, I always have a backup plan. Now, it doesn't mean it's all ready to go, but I've thought about, if this thing that I'm trying to do doesn't work, what will I do? And I've at least committed some thought to it. So if something does go wrong, I'm a little bit ahead. Either have it planned or I'm like, okay, don't worry. If this happened, I thought about this already. And it's only because of these great leaders. And this is this recurring theme of this whole conversation, which is it's the struggle, it's the journey, not the destination. It's the human beings that guide us. It's the human beings that hold space for us, that make us better at what we do, better than how we show up in the world. And AI will absolutely make our lives easier, like most technology makes our lives easier. That's kind of the rule of technology, which is to make life a little easier, a little more efficient, a little quicker, a little less, strain on the muscles. That's kind of what it does, from the plow, all the way up to the internet and AI. It just makes life a little easier. But we're still human beings who are forced to live with human beings.
You're writing a book about friendship that we're all waiting for.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you when it's due because I don't want to be your publisher. But I know that they chase and chase and chase and chase. But I guess my closing question is why? Of all the things you could have written about, Simon, you're someone who's able to traverse several subject matters across business and life and everything in between. But you've committed yourself to the struggle of writing a book about friendship.
There's an entire industry to help us be better leaders, right? There's an entire industry to help you have a successful relationship or a successful marriage or even find a partner, right? Industries, books, companies. There's very little on how to be a friend. And if you think about, if you're going to have a successful career and can survive the stresses of career, and if you're going to have a successful romantic relationship or marriage and survive that, do you know what you need in both of those circumstances? Friends. Because when your marriage is falling apart, you go to a friend. When your job is falling apart, you go to a friend. And there's a few things that I've discovered about friends that I find delightful. And I have been reorganizing my life to, as I mentioned it before, I've been reorganizing my life to ensure that my friends aren't taken for granted, and that sometimes I do deprioritize work in order to see my friends and spend time with my friends, because I know it feels good to them and I know it feels good to me. And I know that the only reason I can get through any work stress or personal stress I have is because of those magical human beings, and I will not take them for granted. And doesn't mean it's always easy. I'm conflicted often, but I'm trying. And I also know, if you look at the world today, and there's so much conversation about loneliness, depression, anxiety, inability to cope with stress, even the obsession with longevity. There's so much about these subjects. And some people treat it with drugs and then meditation and vacations and there's so many theories. The one thing that fixes all of those things is friends. Friendship is the ultimate biohack. We've talked about this before. I fundamentally believe that. And if it's so valuable, if you know vegetables are good for you, you eat more vegetables. If you know exercise is good for you, you do more exercise. So if I say friends are good for you, shouldn't you do more friendships, right? Shouldn't you? Exercise is not fun or easy, and you have to get over a hump sometimes. Eating vegetables can sometimes be boring and unsatisfying, but you do it or you find new ways. And so maybe friendship is not always easy or fun, but it's still really, really good for you. And the best thing about friends is it actually doesn't taste like spinach. It's you get the benefits of spinach, but it tastes like chocolate cake. If you get friendship right, it's the healthiest thing in the world.
How do I know if someone's a friend?
have that conversation with them.
Because I know a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, look, and you have deal friends. You know, you have a lot of deal friends. You know,
Podcast friends.
podcast friends. Yeah.
Work friends.
You know, look, I'm not talking about. There's all kinds of friends. There's friends that you just like hanging out with. They're just fun, but you're not going to go with them with your problems or to sort out, issues. You're just not, work or personal. They're just fun, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But I think, I'm certainly guilty of spending time with people that, they fill a space and they make me feel not lonely. But at the end of the day, I don't feel smarter, inspired, brighter, lighter when I say goodbye. I'm just like, all right, bye, that was fun. And I kind of want to spend more time with people who lift me, teach me, support me, love me, give me a chance to serve. They open up to me and let me serve as well,
I struggle to make friends.
And
I think.
Do you know why?
I think I'm lazy with it. Lazy with friendships. So I will meet someone, I'll have a great connection with them, and then my follow-up, like I don't really know what to do next. So I'll meet
Your
someone.
follow-up is crap.
Oh, fucking hell. But this is what I mean. Like I'll meet someone.
I'll text you and maybe I'll get a response.
Vice versa. I think you left me on red. But you're the same. Are you the same, or is it just with me? It's just with me.
It's just with you.
But I think my follow-up game is like crap. I'll meet someone. I'll go, oh my, I'll see the potential for a friendship, and then I won't know what I have. Or maybe I'm just being lazy. I want to be honest. Maybe I just don't prioritize it enough.
I think also when you start having fame and money, and you're used to being the boss, you get away with stuff. So you show up late, everybody's like pissed off and angry, and then you show up and you're like, sorry, like, no, don't worry. Right? Like you get away with stuff in the world, right? And so I think what that does is, I see this with celebrities all the time, right? Because everybody yeses them to death and they get away with it and nobody ever holds them accountable. At some point, they just get lazier and lazier and lazier because they can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so they don't have to put in the effort because other people put in the effort.
Yeah.
And nobody be's like somebody who's a nobody won't say to them, yo, asshole, not respectful. Oh, you think my schedule doesn't matter? I've been waiting here for 3 hours. Oh, just because you're a celebrity, you think you can just keep me waiting? Not cool. Nobody says that to them. Yeah. And somebody should say that to them. But
they should say it to themselves.
They should say it to themselves. That would be ideal. And some of them have the self-awareness to know they're getting away with it. That's even worse, because then they're doing it on purpose. At least blindness, I think, they can at least hide behind ignorance. But friendship takes effort.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people listening now, I know, that understand. I think they'll resonate with what I'm saying, which is I'll meet someone, I'll be like, we could be really good friends. I see so much in us. I love what you stand for. We have so much in common. And then it drifts because neither party have the tools or the skill of like what to do then.
We also live in a strange world where I've met people where I have all of that and I follow up like immediately. I'm like, hey, I had such a good time, let's make a plan. And they're like, what? Huh? What? Or I call as opposed to like texting. And people are like, what? Why are you calling? I'm like, well, we had a nice time. I thought we'd maybe talk, And I think we live in this strange world where people put it out there, but they don't really want it.
Looping us right back to the beginning of this conversation, as you said that about the call, that made me think again about how there's going to become a premium on human. Because calling is so archaic to me that when someone does it, it's like a treat now. And I was thinking, what's taking that even further would be writing someone a letter. Mm. If someone, do you know who wrote me a letter? Evan from Snapchat came on the podcast, the founder and CEO of Snapchat. And then by the time I'd got back to London, there was a letter on my desk from Evan. And it just said, I had a great conversation with you. Thank you for being so thoughtful with the questions. Thank you for the research. Here's my number. Would love to stay in touch.
Yeah.
And it blew me away.
AI wrote that.
No, it was with a pen.
He had an auto pen. He just took it.
Yeah. It was with a pen. I had a signature and his phone number. And I thought, that is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's classic. It's classic and classy.
There's a premium on being human. Simon, thank you so much. Thank you for being so generous with your time always.
Always.
Thank you for
I always have
blessing
fun with
my
you.
show. You always move me forward in my thinking in such a profound and always unexpected way that I'll value tremendously for a very, very long time. In our friendship, I'm going to text back even faster. We need to go on more dates. And I look forward to that and look forward to our next date in London, which I know is coming up sometime soon.
Yeah, we'll go out for sure. It'll be fun.
We have a closing tradition, which I nearly forgot,
I do know the tradition.
which is the last guest leaves a question for the next guest.
Yes, what's my question?
What are you doing in your life to mentor someone coming up behind you? And then who is a person that you'd like to mentor, teach, or coach that needs your voice the most?
It's my team is everything right now. Like, I want to give everything I've learned to my team. I want the folks on my team to benefit from all of the mistakes I've made. And one of the joys of being in founder mode when it's not the actual beginning is I have way more in my skill and knowledge bucket that I want to pour out. And so one of the reasons I'm having so much fun in founder mode is because I want to give away everything that I've learned so that my team can be stronger and stronger and better. Because I want to leave something that can survive me. That, if I, the whole school bus test, if the founder gets hit by a bus, will the company continue or will it not? And I really want to build something where they want to build it without me.
Feels like there's been a change here. What was the catalyst?
For the past couple of years, I've been just trying out a lot of different things to find a level of excitement and energy that I think I'd lost for a little bit, and I found it. Like, this has been the founder mode. My team are so great, and they so want to push boundaries, and all I want to do is take the reins off, take the leash off. Like, I want them to experiment. I want them to try things, and I'm trying to create an environment where they're creative. They do things. Half of them will fail. I don't care. Let's try again. And I just love being around all the creative ideas that they're coming up with.
My team asked you to bring something that meant a lot to you, and you brought me this, and I don't know what's in this box. Ooh. 2 medals?
Those are military challenge coins. I brought the round one just to show you what the traditional ones look like. This is the one I care about. I mean, I care about them both, but this is the one I brought. So these are only generals or commanders will give these out. They're hard to get. You get them when you do something of service. It's less formal than a medal. They can give it out to whomever they want, and it's their way of saying thank you. And the challenge coins that I've been given, I'm very, very proud of because I feel like I earned them. And the thing that I love is when they give them to you, they don't just hand it to you. They put it in their hand like this, and they shake your hand. Go on. And that's how they give them to you. And they say, thank you, Simon, so much for coming here and helping us out. And that's how they give me the coin. The reason this one means a lot to me is because I did some work with Air Force Top Gun. It's called a weapons school, but it's Air Force Top Gun. And this is their coin and this is their patch. I did some work with them to help them get to the core of their why, what their true value was, just to make sure that their culture stays clear and good for a long time. And we came up with 3 words, 3 actions that everybody who goes through Air Force Top Gun is required to do, which is build, teach, lead, which is the idea that you build a skill set, you teach that skill set to other people, and then you build leaders and you lead, right? Mm-hmm. This whole idea that you have a responsibility to build, to teach, and to lead, accumulate and give and serve. And the thing that is so powerful is the commandant of the weapons school, after we did the work, he took those words and he put them on the coin.
Oh, really?
And they exist on the coin, and they have been on there for years since. And I am so proud to have given something that has longevity, that is literally on the coin.
Build, teach, lead.
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful mantra for life.
Yeah. And they're wonderful people who go there. And what an honor that work that I did ended up on a coin. And so they gave me the coin out of gratitude for the work that I did, and it had my words on it. So it's not my words, it's their words. I just helped distill them. It's who they are when they're at their natural best. I just helped them put it and codify it.
Simon, thank you.
Thanks.
Always love our conversations, and long may they continue.
Likewise.
This has always blown my mind a little bit. 53% of you that listen to this show regularly haven't yet subscribed to the show. So could I ask you for a favor? If you like the show and you like what we do here and you want to support us, the free, simple way that you can do just that is by hitting the subscribe button. And my commitment to you is if you do that, then I'll do everything in my power, me and my team, to make sure that this show is better for you every single week. We'll listen to your feedback, we'll find the guests that you want me to speak to, and we'll continue to do what we do. Thank you so much.